Hi everybody. Flicked on one of my old screens there. Was getting panicky there for a minute. Looked up and seen here on the laptop that what's that? The bloody cameras aren't working. But had to make some changes at the last minute. So about 7:30 came up, checked things out, and next thing was blank. And I go ah. But anyway, how you doing everybody? Welcome to another Saturday Night Live here with me, Peter Driver in Biscari Fly. How you doing, Bernard, Jared Lennon, Robert Flaherty, Brian Kennedy's on with us there. Who else have we got on? Kieran Sherlock, I see, is on there. Dylan Roberts is on there from Wales. I do Michael Scully, Graham Lonigan, Ricky Croak. Absolutely, Ricky only weeks away now, not months to count down to the new season. Jared Lennon and Dick Croak is on there as well. Martin Kennedy, James Hope, Brendan Splan, Ken, Robbie Berry. Hope you're all having a great weekend. How you doing, Darius? Having a great weekend, and Nigel from Wales as well. Paul, Patrick, how's it going? Having a great weekend and enjoying your Saturday night. We're here for the next 2 hours, folks, tying some flies, having a bit of a chat and a crack as always. Please hit that share button if you want to win tonight's flies. Don't forget to share the stream or send up a comment. How you do, Johnny Brannigan? Alan's on there as well. Deirdre Delaney, I hope you're keeping well, my dear. Hit that share button and you'll be in for a chance to win tonight's flies. Now, put it up during the week. Tonight is all about Adair Springs. So Adair Springs is a fishery based in Mooncoin in County Kilkenny, South Kilkenny. About 25 minutes from me here. It's the closest one to me here. I do Mike McGovern. Mike McGovern's over in New York. Is it freezing over there, Mike? It's not too bad here. We're in a bit of a mild spell. John Bird is on there as well. Are you ready for tomorrow, John? AWOL is in Adair Springs tomorrow as well, folks. The fourth leg of AWOL. John Bird are in there with a shout. John Bird, Hubert Smith, and Mary's is are the main contenders there at the moment. The fourth leg, fifth leg is in Leash Angling Centre afterwards. How you doing, Patrick Burke? But that's on there tomorrow. Heading down there myself tomorrow. Not that I'm going to feature in it, but sure, I'm going to make up the numbers anyway for the crack. So anyway, tonight's all about Adair Springs. So we're going to tell you a few patterns that I fish there quite regularly, and I know have been proven. We're going to talk about some other patterns, a little bit how you doing, Yano, Brendan Doherty, a little bit of talk and tips and stuff like that as well that I found personally. Not that I'm any expert in Adair Springs. There's plenty of guys down there that I would claim that I would call to be experts, quite good anglers. I certainly wouldn't be, but I do fish there a little bit and have a few little tricks up my sleeve now and again. And I'll gladly share with them just tonight. A couple of patterns here. We've done some stuff already in previous shows. I'm not going to go back over that stuff like snakes and squirmies, some of that stuff. Got four nice little patterns here that I will be bringing to Adair tomorrow, and we're going to talk about it. We're also going to talk, of course, about the big news Ned had there about a month ago. Irish Spring Angling Fair taking place in April the 30th to the 1st of May. Great fly fishing angling fair. Not just fly fishing, just say fly fishing, because it's open to all disciplines, coarse, sea angling, pike, the whole lot. Ned is really putting in a big effort there, folks, to have this angling fair, to get something back up and running in the country, which is great. And fair play to Ned for putting his hand up and saying, you know what, I'm going to get something going here. He's got a great facility down there, and it's going to be a great weekend. We're going to be there, all the bells and whistles. I'm going to be doing some talks, demonstration, fly tying. We're bringing the shop there, loads of trade stands, loads of other demonstrators. We're going to talk a little bit more of that. During the show as well, we're going to take a trip down to Adair Springs, going to show you a couple of fish there, and have a chat with Ned himself. So that's coming along the way. Dave is along with his trivia. Dave will be along with that probably after the interval when we go down to Ned's. And look, if you have any questions or anything like that, please shoot them across. Roger Fowler's on there. You all set for tomorrow, Roger? Aidan Gill is on there as well. And John Ferran. Hope you're keeping well, John. Right, so we're going to start off with a streamer pattern that has worked endless down there. Now, sometimes, Billy, I don't know, that mightn't sit too well with some people, but I'm certainly not the take kind of person to be able to change that song. I would make a hash of the whole thing. But anyway, here's a streamer thing, and especially when these fisheries tend to get fished quite heavily, I tend to turn to more, for the want of a better expression, natural colours, blacks, olives, and stuff like that. How you doing, Paul Burke? And I find that they can pull you out a couple of fish at times. So this is a streamer pattern that I've used quite a bit down there, and I do know it works. It's a very, very simple marabou streamer, but is super, super effective. Okay, here I got some in the hook here, by the way. I got a 12SL WSL Duhaku streamer hook, and I got a 2.5mm bead up on top of that one. Absolutely, Paul, it's a cracker of a lake. Some brilliant fish down there. So I've got that bead up there as well. Okay, I got a golden olive. This is Hairline Super Select Marabou. Okay, and what I'm going to do is take a small pinch of this olive off of that. Now, when I'm doing the marabou, I like to give it a little bit of a twist, just like that, just to keep it under control a bit if I can. Okay, I'm going to put it up there, and get the length of my tail. Now the tail on this one is quite long, okay? As we know, when rainbows are chasing a little bit, that extra bit of movement, it'd be handy if I actually put on a bit of thread, wouldn't it? It's a good thing to put on a bit of thread there first, folks. Hard to tie flies without thread. So, a little bit of Kevlar. Take away my waist. Go back to me. Bit of marabou. So as I say, a little bit of movement on a stream or something like that. You know, that's why snakes have become so prevalent in the last couple of years. Things like that. Stuff with serious movement. You know, when fish are willing to chase a fly, sometimes it can be that little bit of movement. Same as yourself, Mark. Sometimes it can be that little bit of a movement that can really trigger a fish. And this one thing this fly has is a lot of movement. Okay. Then I'm going to take a little bit of black marabou. This is our own marabou. And again, I just give it a little bit of a twist just to get it under control. Because normally I'm not talking when I'm doing marabou marabou stuff. When I'm talking, the kind of just taking off a little bit of that. And we're going to put that on top. Directly on top. Make sure your thread is just at the end of the shank of the hook. Keep them in around the same length. And get it directly on top. 1 or 2 turns is enough, folks. How you doing, Michael Callaghan? 1 or 2 turns is enough. Catch that marabou and hold it back there out of the way. Okay, don't need to worry about it in there now for a minute. Take your olive marabou again. You can take a little bit of a larger selection this time if you wish. Not too large. The body has to be fairly slim on this as well, folks. We don't want too large of a body. We certainly don't want any bulking on it. Okay, it's quite a slim, sleek. And as you can see, once I make that trim of the ends of the marabou, I tend to strip out the down just to thin it out a bit. And I'm going to tie in another piece of that olive marabou. This time making sure I come right back with the thread to where I tied in those 2 previous bits. Okay, wind it up the body. And wind your marabou up there as well. Very simple little streamer, but man, this thing has some serious movement to it. So this fly is based on an Italian fly called the Rocco, which I have tied before. The red Rocco. Fantastic streamer pattern in rivers and lakes. But this particular colour combination is, I find, very, very effective. Down in Jim Myler was unleashed today. Good stuff. Good stuff, Jim. So right, once we've got that done, we then catch our butt ends of our black. And we pull them across the top. So basically we've just continued on that same 2-tone effect up through the body that we had in the tail. Let's just tidy up all that marabou there now at the head. Now when I'm fishing something like this, I'm generally fishing it on well, of course it depends on the level of the fish. It depends on the depth of fish you're on. That's the key to any of those stock lakes, I find, is getting the right level. You get the level of fish you're on, you're giving yourself a chance. If you're fishing above them or below them, it's not necessarily, ideal. So once you get the right level, be it a fast glass or be it a midge tip or a die tree or a sweep or whatever it may be, once you get that right level, well then it's about getting the right retrieve. So fast slips, fast strips, figure of eights. If they really are chasing, I'll strip quite fast, maybe 3 or 4 fast pulls, and then stop dead in the water. Sometimes, or strip even a bit longer. You'll figure it out on any given day. What I'm doing here is getting a bit of peacock number 45. This is Hen's peacock number 45. Nothing, Dennis. We're just starting. Dennis Goulding there. You all set for tomorrow, Dennis. You must be tying on killers for tomorrow, Dennis, I'd say. Strip really fast if they're chasing, if they're plucking, and then just stop dead in the water. Literally stop dead and hold on. There's a good chance that fish is going to hit it. A little bit too much there. Wind that number 45 behind the bead. Whip finish that off. Tighten it up. Take that away. We then go to Tommy. Of course, nearly every fly I tie has Tommy. Tommy number 31. And back where you put in that joint of where that body met tail, we want to put in a bit of Tommy fly. If you don't have Tommy fly, you can use glow bright. Now what am I putting in there, that there for? Is a target point. Sometimes when they're chasing, they need a little target spot. Okay, and that's where I want them to hit. Okay, I want them to focus and hopefully hit that target. Now sometimes I use red, sometimes when Dennis Graham reckons Dennis Golden is 20 to 1 to blank tomorrow. Jeez, I take them odds anyway. You don't bookie, Graham. Sorry, before I whip finish that. It's just a sub target. Now sometimes sneaks, yeah. Sometimes I'll use a bit of hot red in there or something like that, but I know this colour combination has worked well for me down there before. A little bit of lacquer onto that Tommy fly thread before I whip finish. And just carefully build up that little hot spot without trapping out too many of them nice loose fibres off that marabou. And you just get a very subtle little hot spot right there at the butt of that fly, right where the body meets the How you doing, Andrew? I was in the pub, good man yourself. So right where the body meets the tail, little bit of a dampen. Now we see what we have. Look at that. I tell you one thing, you want something to wiggle? And I would tie the tail that length. I should have brought up a ruler to give you an idea of the length of that. But that is so slim and sleek. And that thing will waggle. And trust me, you won't get too many. If they're on that, you won't get too many tail plucks. They'll just hit it. They'll hit it so hard, they'll drive it in. Okay, beautiful, long, sleek. It's got to be that skinny though, folks. Okay, you don't want any bulk on the tail. You want that thing just moving. Can be very good on a midge tip line. You know, when it's diving down and you pull on the midge tip will make it come up a little bit, and you get super articulation to that tail. But that one right there is good one. That's already in my box for tomorrow. That will get a swim tomorrow. Whether it'll catch me fish or not, you don't know. You're never guaranteed at this crack. You know, you try all your trusted patterns, you get confidence and stuff. But definitely that's one that's got me a lot of fish over the years, and it's been quite good in Ned's in the last 2 seasons. Very, very natural colours, lots of articulation, nice and slim. Exactly what well fished over fish are interested in taking. Can be fish slow, can be fish fast, rip it back. There's lots of variations what you can do with retrieve. There are lots of fly lines you can use that on as well. Real good all around streamer, and super easy to tie. You can tie that in any colour combination as well. Don't be, how you doing, Declan? Declan Smith Samuels there. Don't be afraid to, mix up your colour combinations there depending on where you go. I know we do a white and yellow one, I do a red and white one. Really good. They're based on the Italian Rocco. But fantastic. So that's going into the little tub there I have in front of me, folks, for whoever wins those flies. All you got to do to win the flies from tonight, and any flies that tied in practice beforehand, is share the stream. Okay, share the stream or stick up a comment. Hi to all our YouTubers tomorrow, by the way. I always do sort of try and remember you. Hi to all our YouTubers tomorrow. I hope you're all keeping well and having a good weekend, enjoying your Sunday. This stream is streamed to YouTube. So I say it's all about Adaire Springs tonight. So, as we were talking earlier on, Ned has, he's what's it imitating? You can imitate anything, Ricky. You can imitate fry, leeches. Depends on where you're fishing it. Yeah, Kieran, I've caught fish on the rivers and them things as well. Especially stock rivers out in Europe it was an absolutely cracker fly. But anyway, I was saying about Ned. Ned's got the Irish Spring Angling Fair coming up there this year. It's great to have it on. It's going to be on the 30th of April to the 1st of May. A 2-day event. Lots going on the lake. Casting demonstration talks. Trade stands. There's loads of people coming now. He hasn't released, how you doing, Ross Enright? Hope you're keeping well down there in Limerick. But he hasn't released all the names or the celebrities that are coming just yet. But keep an eye on their Facebook page. Give it a like. Give it a bit of a share. Great to have an event coming up like that. And really looking forward to ourselves to going down there. Okay, so the next thing, we're still sticking to that kind of black, that theme of a kind of dark. I do like fishing a lot of black lures and stuff. This is a little black nomad. Tying it on a size 10 now. I do tend to tie this more on a size 12 WSL, the streamer hook from Dahaku, but I actually only had one. I actually only brought one up, and when I was sitting up here trying to get all the computer stuff working, realised I only one, so I said, here, look, I'll put it on a 10. Do like it a bit better. Good question, Dennis. Are you using brass or tungsten? Dennis, I use tungsten. I do. I use tungsten. I don't know. It's just a personal thing. And I do an odd time use brass, but these are tungsten. I think when I want the articulation of that fly, and I'm using a fly line to help it, I find that tungsten bead will drop that a little bit quicker than a brass and hopefully help kick that fly a bit, maybe if it was on a midge tip or whatever it be, that the fly will take a sharper dive down, if you get me. That's my thinking of it. So I think I get a little bit of extra articulation out of the tail. That's my idea of tungsten. Some of the stuff I use brass, but an awful lot of it I use tungsten. Okay, so this is a little nomad, little black nomad, that has been very effective down there too. And if anyone remembers last year, I did what you call it, that worked really well in me for Ned's last year was flapper. Okay, the double zonker flapper really was good last year. Haven't got as much success on it this year, but it's definitely one that's in the box for Ned's. And this is a nomad based on that. Okay, so I've got a bit of flat UV pearl here. Okay, how you doing, Jerry Morgan? Good to have you on with us there. A bit of flat UV pearl, and I'm just going to tie in a nice chunk of that in the air. Probably a little bit too much. Take out one or two of those strands. That's okay. A nomad is always great for articulation as well. Great streamer to do. All of nomads are fantastic when they're on damsels and stuff like that. So as you can see, I haven't tied it up near the top of the... I'm staying in the back half of the hook here for the moment. Okay, we're going to take a little bit of black. Yeah, absolutely. Ned's going to run a great shop. I've given Ned a bit of a hand over the last couple of weeks. So we're going to... I've organised Ned some ideas and stuff like that because we're going to the show and stuff as well. So he's got some great plans and fantastic venue, really accessible, really easy to get to. There's going to be a lot of good guys down there. Jimmy Tyrrell from Irish Flycraft is going. He's doing some flies down there. Scott McKenzie's going to be there doing some casting, single and double handed. Who else is going to be there? Jason O'Riordan. You're going to see a bit of a video in a while there where he'll mention a few others. So now I'm going to take a bit of black marabou, a little bit heavier than I did on the last one. Okay, I've trimmed it off, and again I'm going to tie that into the butt section. Because it's a 10, I'm going a little bit longer than I normally would. Now I haven't trimmed off that pearl yet. That's okay. Really get that secured down there. Now what I'll do is I'll take my scissors and I'll trim off that to the longest point. Okay. So basically what that, you'll see that in a minute, what that UV, that little UV strip, and the reason why I use that particular flat, I'm sorry, I don't know the actual brand of that, I'd love to tell you. Yeah, it should be great. I'm not sure, James. I'm actually not sure. Give Ned a text, he'll tell you straight away, James. But the reason why I use that particular brand, and I don't know, I actually had it in the old hen's wire bloody bag, I don't know what it is, but it really mats together quite well. So when the tail gets wet, and I'll show you in a minute, it's very subtle underneath, but if that tail lifts at all, let's say if we got to chase a fish and we want that tail flips up, or the bead makes that fly dive down, and the fish get a glimpse of that flash underneath, it's really tucked up tight, and I find it can often really entice how you doing, Betty? Sorry there, Dad. You had a bit of a problem getting into the show, but you're glad you're here with us now anyway. But that bit of a flash up underneath really does, sometimes it can encourage them. If they're chasing it, bang, they can hit it like, you know. Right, so for the little body here, we got a bit of Razzle Dazzle. This is Vineyard's Razzle Dazzle. Love this stuff. The very same thing I used on that flapper before. Bit of Razzle Dazzle, 2 strips of black marabou either side, and chartreuse tungsten bead, if I'm not mistaken. There's a really good flapper pattern down there for Ned's. Also good stuff down there, like other fisheries, you know. Worms are also very good. We'll do a little apps bloodworm, or an apps worm there now in a little while. One that has been very good for me. You know, how you doing, Declan Noonan? What else is good down there? You know, your squirmies can be quite good. Of course, eggs. You know, if you got some good eggs, if the fish, it depends on what the fish want. So again, I'm just going up to where I've kind of started the body, but I'm also being very aware of where I want my bead placement for this particular fly. So I'm just getting up sort of halfway to almost 5/8 up that hook, and then I'm locking that in. It's lovely little Fritz, that Razzle Dazzle, really nice combination of colours. It is, it's good, Kieran, alright. Whip finish off that thread, and then shove your bead back. So the bead in it, give it a good squeeze, get it right in there to that body. The bead should sit nicely into that body, as you can see. Could have actually been a little bit better, but it's okay. If that was on 12, it'd sit far better than that. Okay, Next, we're going to go to, guess what? Tommy Fly. Tommy Fly 06. And we're going to put I should choose nose on the front of this one. Now again, colour combinations here can vary. Sometimes I will tie a red or hot orange nose on that as well. Build it up, get a nice taper back to the bead. You can see a nice taper there coming back. A little bit more. There we go. Whip finish off. Another very simple little streamer. But super, super effective. Okay, before we go any further, we go to our UV resin. I always give that head a little bit of a resin. Yeah, it does. It does, absolutely, yeah. Green apps is quite good down there too. A little bit of resin on that one. Make sure the resin goes up onto the bead, right down to the hook. Give it a shot of your pink pen. Good question, Jim. Yeah, it does. It makes the fly swim dip down completely different than, say, if the bead was sitting out in the front. Okay, so your bead placement will help with articulation, depending on what you want to. I'm not even actually sure the history of the nomad in relation to who invented it. I should have researched it for you a bit. But yeah, bead placement, pushing down the hook, just will help with the articulation of that, especially when you want that tail. So there we go, little black nomad, razzle dazzle body, and when we wet it, nice black tail. Look underneath, you got that lovely bit of UV matted kind of material underneath, lovely little bit of flash. And when that thing is moving, that flash is being exposed into the fish, the following fish, and hopefully it entice to take. Alan Allis on there. He said Declan Smith tied you up a couple for great. Yeah, great fly. Nomads are fantastic. Tie them in different colours. You know, an olive nomad during when there's damsels, when fish are taking damsels, it's just you couldn't beat it. But there's another lovely little pattern for Adaire Springs that I found to be very useful over the last couple of seasons. And Leash Angling Centre and other places as well. I fished in quite a number of places. Can be really good. Absolutely, Bernard. For stock browns, definitely will work. Definitely, Robert, one for the box. Stock browns works, yeah. Never tried that particular pattern for wild browns on a trout lake or a river, but it's definitely fish enough to take them. Really good streamer pattern. Again, going into the box, and for whoever's going to win that there over the next couple of days. So we're going to head over, and I said I got down there during the week to Ned's and managed to get a little bit of a chat with Ned, reluctantly enough, but he agreed to sit down and have a chat with me. And Jason Reardon was there as well at the time, and Jason's also an organizer of the show, helping out Ned there, so fair play to you. And we had a bit of a chat. We went around, met a few of the anglers on the lake as well, and got a bit of footage for you. So sit back and watch this one, folks. We're heading down to Adaire Springs, wonderful fishery down in Mooncoin. Of course, it's the venue for the first ever Irish Springs Fly Fair in the 30th of April to the... Oh, by the way, before I go, folks, don't forget, if you buy your tickets online on the website, they're giving away a free VIP weekend pass. So 2 weeks before the competition, there will be a draw for everybody that's bought their ticket online for 1 day. You don't have to buy it for 2 days, just for 1 day. And you can win the free entry for 2 people to the Angling Fair, a twin room for the Saturday night, that's in the Tower Hotel in Waterford, which is only about 6 or 7 minutes away, a food voucher to the value of €40, which will cover your bit of grub for the weekend. You get a cracking VIP gift bag coming in at entry. You get a shuttle bus to and from the hotel, so if you want to have a drink, or if you feel a little bit groggy on the Sunday morning, get onto the shuttle bus, free shuttle bus, and you also get 2 free days fishing in Adaire Springs. That's if you book online 2 weeks prior to the show, so get on there and book your tickets, and you're in a chance to win that VIP weekend. Right, so we're going to head over to Adaire Springs now, have a little bit of a walk around, have a chat with Ned and stuff. Enjoy this, folks, and I will be back to you in a few moments with 2 more cracking patterns for Adaire Springs. Talk to you all real soon. Way down here to Adaire Springs this morning. The one thing I like about Adaire Springs is it's so accessible. You know, from my place in Kilkenny, it's 29 minutes down the bottom of the motorway. You're just in off the motorway, and you're there so fast. So we're going to head down here now this morning and meet up with Ned and have a look at the lake and the venue. It should be interesting. You know, this show is something that's in a different area of the country. It's you know, there's a lot of anglers over on the east coast. You got, you know, salt water not too far away, coarse angler not too far away. A lot of trout water here with the Nord. The shore is not far away, so there is a great catchment of anglers here, and I think a show like this is going to be fantastic. Great location, very accessible, so just off the bottom of the motorway, you know. So yeah, looking forward to having a chat with Ned today, and let's see what plans he's got. So we're here today in Mooncoin, County Kilkenny. We're in Adaire Springs. Tonight's show has all been about fishing this particular venue, the flies we use for this particular venue, and we're down here now at the moment, and we're going to go in and have a chat with the owner himself, Ned Maher. He runs a great shop here. He's a lovely fishery, and he's got some big news. Of course, we all know now Ned is hosting the first ever Irish Spring Angling Fair in April and May of this year, a 2-day event for all anglers, and it's going to be a fantastic event to be at. Lots going on, so let's go inside, get in out of the cold, have a quick chat with Ned and see what he's got planned for us. To give us a little bit of insight into how things are going on at Adaire Springs at the moment. Ned, how's things? How was the year? How was last year for you?
Yeah, look, sure, it was tough, like, for everyone. We were closed for 4 months at the start of the year, but when we opened up, then we got very busy, and in general things were pretty okay. That's good.
And how's the fishing been over the last couple of weeks? Good. See some lot of good pictures going up on social media there.
Yeah, there was a lot of anglers, you know, all at Christmas, and I don't think they were disappointed. There was a lot of double figure fish landed, some lovely browns and some nice big rainbows as well.
Good stuff. I'd say that bit of a cold spell is helping as well.
Yeah,
spring, and it's making them.
Yeah, the cold water
come back.
a lot harder.
Yeah, and you mentioned COVID, Ned. How I know I've attacked the business as well, but you know you're different here. You've got people coming in. How did that affect you here? Was that, you know, obviously you were open and closed, the same as every other business. You were following the guidelines and stuff, but
we tried to cater for everyone as well as we could. Like, some people didn't want to come in near the shop, so they just paid at the door or paid in advance and just go out and go fishing. They don't have to come anywhere near anyone as such. They could get out onto the lake and stay there for the day.
Yeah, a safe enough environment out there then, of course, once you're in the lake. But it's been a tough couple of years on businesses all across the country, and I suppose that leads us to the big thing now, the big news you announced there a couple of weeks ago, Ned, which I think a lot of people were delighted to hear. The Irish Springs Angling Fair is coming up in 2022 in April, May of this year. It was great news. What's the plans?
Well, the plan is we'll cater for everyone in the fishing world. It's not just going to be one thing, it's going to be course, sea and game, so we'll have something to suit everyone, both on the demonstrations and in the trade stands.
So you're having demonstrations?
Yeah, we have the advantage here of having the water and the lake, so a lot of the show will actually be outdoors with all the demonstrations and all that going on around the lake, and plenty of room for all the rod companies to showcase their products.
Fantastic. And you're saying there's trade stands, so there's lots of trade coming. People get to do a lot of shopping.
Absolutely, yeah. There's a huge big marquee going up, and we'll have trade stands from fly, game, whatever, from coarse fishing and pike and sea. We'll have something there for everyone.
Fantastic. And Jason, you've done a lot of these shows in the past, and you're going to be one of the exhibitors on our kind of demonstrators over the weekend, and one of the main organisers of the whole thing. What kind of can people expect out of, let's say the demonstration side of it? Who's coming, or what can they see? Or
it's going to be good. You're going to have world champion casters like Scott
wow.
McKenzie.
Right.
You're going to have top river anglers, some driver guys demonstrating.
That's what we were like, yeah.
Stephen Jones is coming.
He's sure, look, absolutely world renowned.
I'm not sure if he's ever done a show in Ireland before.
Right,
but,
he'll be really interesting.
His book is really good.
Yeah.
I think Henry Gilby's confirmed just
in
the last few days. I mean, he's
brilliant.
Big name in bass lure fishing,
not
just
massive
live fishing
demonstrations. So he'll be giving demos. They'll be doing some talks as well, will they? Or what's the format?
Sure there'll be a talks timetable like you'd see at any show.
Yeah.
You'll have demos. You'll have with the smaller bait pond there for the demo course fish and stuff. I think there's 2 top course anglers coming. I'm not sure the details yet. We can't disclose everything too soon.
Of course, absolutely. Yeah.
Hopefully there'll be some pike. I think there's another chap from maybe Wexford coming on the bass side as well. So yeah, I've got an all round lineup of top anglers, fly tyers, designated fly tyers are all in the tentacles.
Yeah.
As far as I know, so there's going to be hopefully kids area. I'm sure the casting bodies like Gaia and Aqua and those, I'm sure will be involved as well. So
brilliant.
You're going to have lots for beginners. It's not just for the guy who's fly fishing for years and years.
Yeah.
It's the venue.
So trying to be inclusive. Yeah. So the venue is fantastic with the lake.
From someone who maybe just kid just wants to take it up or see what it's all about to, you see they're out there even today. There's some top, probably international anglers out there fishing and practicing as well. So it's all levels. It's for everyone really.
It's going to be great, and of course the location is fantastic, as you mentioned here. You're only 10 minutes, Ned, is it, from Waterford here? How far away from Waterford?
10, 15 minutes.
So we're just down the bottom of the M9, right at the bottom, and it's just in off the M9. I think it took me 29 minutes to get here from Kilkenny this morning. So location is fantastic. It's very accessible.
Yeah, it's pretty good. There's a motorway all the way from Dublin, so
you've lots of parking.
Yeah, we have probably best part of 15 acres available for parking.
That'd be great.
Parking won't be an issue.
Yeah. What time is the show on it?
Will be gates open around 9 a.m. and the show will open at 10.
And it goes on till
run until 5.
Run until 5. So and it's over 2 days, Saturday and Sunday.
The 30th of April and Sunday the 1st of May.
Brilliant. That's fantastic. And I suppose if anyone wants to buy a ticket.
Yeah, we'll have hope this weekend we should have online ticket sales going up, and just want to watch out. We have a fantastic prize for anyone that buys tickets online. There's a VIP prize package, and which is definitely going to be worth looking at. The draw will be done for that about 2 weeks before the show.
Sounds good. Nice one to win.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that sounds nice. We'll stick up the information on that VIP package during the show there, folks, if anybody wants information on that. And I suppose just, something that I know me as being an angler and as a trade dealer as well, we're coming, Scary Fly is going to be here at the show, but speaking on a personal level, how important do you think is it anglers across the country on all disciplines, not just fly fishermen, but on all disciplines, to have events like this? We've lost out in the last number of years. There's been no Dublin shows, no Galway shows, all the little communities and get-togethers that was planned over the years, even the likes of AGMs for clubs and stuff like that, have gone by the wayside. We're not sure what will return, but how important do you feel these shows are to us as anglers?
Which looked at a big part of the calendar for years and years, and the last couple of years with COVID there's been nothing, so there has been, and the last couple of years with COVID there's been nothing, so there has been a big void there, and we all missed out on the shows. We all enjoyed the Galway show and Dublin show. So look, at some stage we're going to have to learn to live with COVID, and we do what we can to keep everything in order, and we just have to take it as part of life now.
Exactly, and I suppose that's the beauty about this show as well, Ned. Most of it's going to be outdoors.
Yeah,
because we have the venue. The venue is on a lake. It's a tent venue, so ventilation, everything is there, the whole lot, and people coming here with any, maybe not fears, but concerns about potentially a COVID hazard within. They can come and watch the outside demonstrations. There's plenty of room and space here.
Yeah, absolutely.
To still enjoy the show.
There'll be things going on all around the lake at different standpoints, and there's no reason for anybody to feel uncomfortable if they don't want to be too close to other people.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, look, that's fantastic. If people want to check out, there's a website. I'll put the link up on the website. I think your pretty much motto is it's open to everybody. Everybody's welcome.
Absolutely, yeah.
Everybody's
it's
welcome.
It's for everyone to come and enjoy.
It's about bringing anglers back together and meet up, and it's
chance
great.
for everybody to meet up and see what's new on the market and one thing and another.
Brilliant, fantastic, boys. Well, look, thanks a million for your time. Really appreciate it. Looking forward to the show in the 30th of April and the 1st of May. Be a fantastic weekend here in Adaire Springs, and we're going to go back upstairs now and tell you another couple of killer patterns for Adaire Springs. So thanks, Ned, thanks, Jason, for your time, and we look forward to seeing you in May.
Starting to recover now.
What a beautiful fish. Lovely colour. There he goes. Beautiful. Lovely rainbow trout here at Adaire Springs. Nice brown, Mick, is it?
Nice brownie. Go meet the Ned Maher again. Wow.
Lovely. What did he take?
Damn, son. Oh, wait, look at this.
Wow, what a fish. Awesome. Beautiful. What condition? Yeah. Beautiful brown trout. Yeah.
I'll leave him in the net for a while now.
Yeah.
Before I release him.
Were you just pulling that, damsel?
Yeah.
Show us a little look.
Stripping.
Just on an intermediate line.
Intermediate, yeah.
Lovely. You're going to be at the show here, Mick?
Well, yeah.
Should be a great event.
Oh, yeah.
Great to see people coming back together in the fishing world and having a bit of crack.
Definitely.
I'm sure it's an ideal location for it as well, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Perfect.
Oh.
Get a bit more line up now.
You find they're chasing a lot at the moment, or is it?
Yeah, they're just underneath the surface.
Right. You fish here much, Mick?
Winter time.
Right. Great way to pass a few winter hours, isn't it?
Yeah. Especially when you catch a brownies like that.
Absolutely, yeah. Geez, if you were getting that lad on the river now or over on the Corrib, you'd be a fairly happy man coming home, wouldn't you? Yeah, beautifully conditioned fish here. What's the line you're on?
It's airflow. It's 12-foot thick.
Oh, okay, right.
I don't know what's thick.
How's the fishing, Jason?
Slow.
Slow, is it?
Slow. There was a few caught, I think, earlier, and lads just said they're getting a lot of nymphs.
Right.
Nymphs just starting on this point, so.
Yeah, that's still early enough in the day. They might switch on a bit later on, maybe, will they?
I'd say the water's been cold. It kind of probably comes as a shock to a fish when it's been mild for so long.
Yeah.
A bit of snow on the hills there. Like.
Yeah. How's the fishing in general been?
It's been good with the mild weather.
Has it?
Yeah.
Getting plenty of action and.
Yeah, and, you know, fish willing to chase.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
The water temperature wasn't that low, so fish were chasing. So the lads were having great sport here, I think, all over Christmas.
Yeah, there's some great pictures. There's some massive fish in there. We've seen a brown cod there earlier on. It was stunning fish, like. Yeah, really fantastic fish. Yeah. Looking forward to the show coming up in May.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
Great venue.
You'd missed the show, I'm sure you'd see on social
Course.
media. People, not just the people who were there helping out at the shows, but just the general public, they missed the shows.
Yeah.
It's surprising how many guys are going to shows and staying over for the weekend, and you forget all the faces that you meet year in, every year. Same guys come up to you, and they all know your name.
Yeah, exactly.
They all know
Yeah.
your name, I bought such a rod 10 years ago. You know, I still remember who they bought it from. And
Yeah, the deal you done for them.
probably how much they paid.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I know you wouldn't be the talk. See, I think we're doing the talk.
Yeah, we're going to be doing some talk on nymph and stuff like that. You got some stuff planned for it?
Yeah, I'm going to do some stuff in salt water.
Brilliant. Yeah, bass fishing.
Bass, mostly bass and mullet.
Great.
You could fish for pollock too, but
Yeah.
I guess with the pollock it's fairly straightforward. It's mostly sinking line.
And there's other lads coming to do the saltwater stuff as well, is there? Who else have we got coming?
There's guys coming to do the lure fishing.
Right.
Henry Gilby, big name in lure fishing,
Yeah.
comes over from the UK, does a bit of guiding in Ireland and photography and stuff.
Right.
There's a chap from Wexford, I'm not sure of his details, and Ned was saying he's coming, he does a bit of guiding in
Yeah.
Wexford.
And there's some fly tyers coming.
Yeah, Rue Harvey is the top.
Wow,
top
fantastic,
the
yeah.
type. Because when you see his crabs and
Right.
stuff like that he ties. John Majoro, up and coming guy as well.
Yeah, see a lot of his stuff on
Yeah.
social media. He's doing
Yeah.
some fantastic
Yeah.
saltwater stuff at the moment.
John's Instagram is very popular with
Yeah.
everybody. Then you have, let me think. Yeah, they'd be the two main saltwater tires, I guess. Probably be somebody come, I'd say, kind of pike related as well. I'm
Brilliant.
sure before now in the show. So
Yeah, so we're going to cover all disciplines, isn't it?
yeah, Jim Claus, he's coming as well. He's been known for sea fishing for bass from a boat.
Right.
He does vertical jigging and that kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
I think he caught a couple of specimen other species this year as well from the boat.
Right.
I think at least one specimen. He goes out in Cork Harbour, deep sea as well, like, you know, these ray and all these other types of fish that look odd to us fly anglers, but
Yeah.
Jim's a really top boat angler, yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah, sounds like a good weekend to be had. What rods are you on there?
10 for 7 with the lower rod. The DI5 sweep, I suppose just to go through the layers, really just trying to figure out maybe what depth of fish are at. So it's a good idea to start with a sweep line if you're not sure.
Right, okay.
If you hit a fish in the first few reach, maybe what colour is working on the day. You see a bit of interest on the hang.
Okay.
You know, just because we're not in the boat, like, you notice I always hang the flies at the end of the watch.
Yeah.
Just because it reminds me when they come up. So I had a tap, would you believe?
Ah, there you go, on the hang.
Yeah. As the wind was pushing the knee right in under me there. I didn't really connect because the slack came into it there. But yeah, and then the other rod's a 6-foot floater, and the two most popular setups here would be 10 for 7 with using a single wheel or a snake. That's me.
Right.
An indicator on the other one, some sort of flaps or different types of worms.
Okay. What breaking strain are you fishing?
Breaking strain, I thought we're not allowed to use that. Just fishing the 3X.
Okay. In diameter. Diameter.
3X. Not sure, it's the Solderini, you probably know you.
Right.
So that's
Yeah.
it could be 2X with 2 flights.
Okay.
The normal thing for me, I'd start as heavy as I get away with it then.
Of course.
If I'm not really connecting or there's follows or tips, I might go down. But you're talking fish like well into double figures, so
Yeah.
I wouldn't start too light.
Yeah.
The other one, alright, it's Solderini or Hannock on that. and that's 3 eggs, and it's just one worm. I use black ones a lot here, mostly because they don't sell them in the shop.
Right.
So it's just the colour that they don't see that often.
Yeah.
So black and brown.
And it's important to do that too, isn't it? Try and come up with something that they mightn't see that often.
Yeah.
Because they do cop on.
They
do cop on.
I mean, you see certain days if a guy's caught a lot of fish on a black snake, it mightn't work for a couple of days.
Yeah.
It'll be something else,
Yeah.
And they like the name, it's been quite slow. You could just hit on something.
Yeah.
One angler just hit on something. But, look, it's just a bit of fun fishing today, so I'm not going to be changing.
No pressure.
So, or that,
Yeah.
It's the same with the indicator. I generally like to fish into the wind with it.
Right, okay.
And let it come back more natural.
Yeah.
There's no one else.
We're not getting the drag then as well, like that,
There's no one else fishing into the wind, really.
Yeah.
That's like a bit of comfort. A lot of fish. This wouldn't be getting down terribly well out there. And with the wind, what you will find is when you give it a pull at the start to sink the vine flies, normally, like if you're in the boat, you're going towards that, you're going to get up and it's going to go right down.
Yeah.
When you're on the shore, fishing with the wind into your face, you're almost trying to just keep in touch a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And look, again, if you're fishing a competition or something really serious, you'll be counting this down.
Of course. Oh, yeah.
You'll be counting this down every cast.
And it's important to get the depth right.
When it's really cold here, I've seen guys casting it literally
Just wait.
no retreat.
Yeah.
No retreat. Now, it's a bit painful, but it can be, particularly with boobies on the short leader,
Yeah.
it can be the difference if you fish or not.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. But, yeah, I was over the last time now, the weather was mild, a lot of fish moving.
Right.
You're not seeing
Yeah, no, there's not a lot of surface activity there today. No.
The one big fish I saw when I came the minute I cast him was
God.
it's like he said, "Oh, your man is here, I'm getting out of here."
Right. What a magnificent fish. What condition?
What condition?
Ah, beautiful. Fantastic. Look at that. Wow.
One of Ned's big brownies.
And it's important to give them that bit of time just to recover, especially after a battle, and return the fish safely. So let's catch them another day. A well-educated trout gone back into Adaire Springs. Another one for another day.
And we're back up now from Adaire Springs, folks. Hope you enjoyed that little bit of a video we made. Could have spent all day there. Didn't get to fish myself, but nice to get down and meet Ned and Jason and see around the lake, and fabulous. And they've got some great plans there for the show, so I think it's going to be a good one. So moving on from there, don't forget, book your tickets online to win that VIP weekend. Great prize to win. Moving on, Dave will be on in a moment with his trivia quiz. Don't forget to watch out for that one. We've got a fantastic prize here. I'll tell you what it's going to be there now in a few moments. But we're going to move on. So we did 2 streamers already that I would be stripping, pulling, whatever. Thanks Richard, thanks Declan, James and Alan, Dennis. There's, bung fishing and a bit more still, stagnant fishing is quite effective down there too. And everyone knows worms work well all over the place, be it squirmies, apps, red apps, green apps, whatever it may be. Thanks Dylan. Yeah, really good question here. What you prefer lentil leader? Kieran, it all depends on what I'm fishing. If I'm fishing let's say I'm going to tie kind of an Apps bloodworm here now at the moment. If I'm fishing that, or an Apps worm, I'm not going to call it bloodworm, but an Apps worm, it depends on the way the fish are. Sometimes I'll fish on a really long leader on its own if they're really spooky. Sometimes I'll fish two, and it may be 6 to 8 foot for the first one and 3 or 4 foot between them. Sometimes I'll fish a snake, 5 or 6 foot away. Thanks, Colin. A snake 5 or 6 foot away from the fly line, and then I put an Apps bloodworm to come behind it. So chewing gum worms are absolutely can't write them off either, Dennis. Chewing gum worms are fantastic. The amount of stuff out there for fish and stock fisheries is phenomenal. It's unbelievable. It's such a minefield. Try it and test it. You get your confidence in your stuff. This is one I've got quite a good few fish on this year now as well when I've been down practicing, and it's a chartreuse worm. Okay, and what I've done there basically on a Duhaku size, no, it's not a Duhaku actually. That one is a Hannock 230 BL size 12 for this one. Thanks, Pat. This one's a 230 size BL Stillwater wet Hannock. And I've just got a little, and this is brass bead for this one actually, Dennis. I use a brass bead on this one. It's a bit of a slow sinker. I fish this generally on a midge tip. I find it quite good if the fish are in those higher layers. So I've just threaded on using my thread shredder, and I've put in bung and buzzers, fantastic as well down there. Can be quite good when they're on the buzzers. Yeah, we've done shows on buzzers and stuff. That's why I'm not particularly going on the buzzers. We could sit here for weeks tying stuff that we could catch on in stocked fisheries all around the country, not just at Adaire Springs. So what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to add on a bit of white glow bright. Okay, it'll twist a bit for the moment just till I get it secured in there. Okay, that's okay, don't worry about it for a minute. I want to get a little bit of a wedge in behind that bead. We want that bead in around the center. Get a bit of a wedge. Take away our waste there for a second. Put a bit of pressure on that thread and then start pulling that perfect. This is perfect rubber, by the way, fluorescent chartreuse. And I'm pulling that, putting over amounts of pressure on that thread. Try not to nick the hook. Happens to me all the time. I want to keep that body as slim as possible. And we just create a nice little white body like so. Yeah, that's a good one as well, Dylan. I was actually, how you doing, ma'am? Ma'am is on there. I was actually at the British Fly Fair a good few years back now. I'm actually going to move that bead up a slight little bit. I want to get it more in the center of that hook. And I'll just continue on with white. Glow bright up there then. Whip finish. Sometimes Alistair, yeah, sometimes I do the dry fly. Great stuff. Sometimes I do dry if they're rising, of course, if fish are rising. When I go to a place like Adaire Springs, let's say for tomorrow for AWOL, I'll probably have the guts of 15 fly lines in the box. I'll have maybe 4 to 5 large boxes of flies to choose from. Depending on the conditions in the morning will depend on what I'm going to do, depending on what information I have, or if I've done a bit of practice. Unfortunately, I didn't get to practice over the last while or so. That'll determine what I'm going to fish. If they're rising, Desmond Paul is just have put up their post there, folks. He has a few numbers left for the day on the Munster Blackwater, guided by Tom Ankertel, trout or salmon. €5 or £5, £6, lads. Get on that one. That's a great prize as well. Great cause there as well from Desmond Paul. Now I'm going to do the exact same on the opposite. So I'm just going to get a couple of turns in behind that bead. Let the perfect rubber frizzle around there for a minute. I'll get it all sorted once I make sure that glow bright is attached on well. I find this particular pattern quite good fished high enough in the water. Just give it a bit of a pull so it just makes that perfect rubber to be not too bulky under that glow brush, and then secures it in well and taper back up to that bead again. Can be quite good under a bung as well, but generally if I tend to fish this pattern under a bung, I will use Flexi Flush Chartreuse rather than the perfect rubber. Bring it up there. Whip finish it off.
Dave Donovan has asked this question there, folks. I'll go back on and have a look. And I'll tell you, go back up along the comments if you can't see it. And he has asked, that's some years coming in anyway. Something. What year did Ned Maher open at Adaire Springs? One guess each. Dave has changed it up a bit. So you only get one guess. Okay? One guess each. So your first guess in is your answer. All right? One guess each. What year did Dave Donovan, or Dave Donovan says me, what year did Ned Maher open at Adaire Springs? One guess each. So your first guess in wins the prize. What you can win tonight is I got a whole selection of leaders here. We got some Saldarini. I got some Shogun. We got some Hannock. All of them are available in our shop as well. And I got a whole selection of Pescari Fly Fritzes and stuff there as well to give away. Some nice little prize there tonight for tonight's winner. Some tippet to keep us going on the stock fishery, and some stuff there to tie a couple of flies as well. Okay, so now we're going to put a little bit of resin on this one. Just a little bit of solar res. I use the solar res resin all the time, thin and hard. And I'm going to resin up that Globrite. Not bulking it up too much, just putting a nice coat on it. Give it a bit of protection. And again, the length of the legs, that that will all depend on what the fish like, what your preferences are. Everyone has their desired length. But what I will say to you is make sure that the length of the legs are the same on both sides. Okay. Some people would even measure them and then know exactly what to cut them every time. Right. That's fair bright. I'll be seeing stars for a minute or two after that. Give it a little zap with the laser pen. She's set ready to go. Can hardly see now for a minute. You nearly want to put sunglasses on. What I do then is I catch both my sets of legs, stand them straight up off the fly, and trim them to my desired length. So they're all the same length. And there we go. That is a great little cat, I suppose, bloodworm. Great, that'd be great, Betty, to have yourself and Michael down. Be fantastic to see us down at Adair Springs. It's going to be a great weekend. Great little blood apps worm. Really, really. So, Kieran, that voice there. I'll try and just move the camera back a bit without disrupting things too much. That is a J voice by J voice, obviously, South Africa. Lovely voice. Been using it for years now. Really, really good. Like it. Love the swan neck or the gooseneck, whatever you want to call it. Great for the hand. But that's a really good one. Love fishing that one on the Jim Myler. Jim Myler won the prize. Well done, Jim. I'll be in touch with you tomorrow to get that prize off to you. I'll be in touch with you tomorrow evening at some stage when I get back from Adair Springs. But there's a great, really well on a midship. Really find that one really good. Going into that little tub there as well for our winners on Wednesday, Tuesday or Wednesday. I'll put up a bit of a post asking, or I'll do a bit of a draw. I do draws normally. The YouTubers and anyone that's like to share the stream will get put into that draw. Deirdre does it for me. I don't know how she does it technically wise, but she manages to get it done every week, and we draw the name and they win those prizes. Now, next little thing. It's not always streamers. It's not always big bright lures and stuff we do fish on fisheries. Sometimes it's a bit more natural. Here's a little nymph that I wouldn't be without going, not just to Ned Maher's, but to any fishery. Okay? Fantastic little nymph. Someone mentioned buzzers there as well earlier on. Buzzers are super, good to have when things get tough. So here I've got a size 12 302. No, sorry, I'm sorry. It's a size 14 302 Dahaku. Okay, and I got a 2.5mm bead tungsten on countersunk on that. Okay, we're going to switch to our Kevlar. Did I see Dave said there was only one winner of the lottery tonight? Robbie Berry, did you really win it? One lucky winner after all them months of nobody winning it. The one night they're going to give it away, so whoever wins it, and there is one winner. Well, fair play to them. I wish them all the best of luck. It certainly wasn't me anyway, folks. So I will be back here next Saturday night.
And we'll keep an eye now next Saturday night and see if anyone's missing. It might give us a bit of a hint into who's who might be our newest millionaire in the country. Best luck to them. Now, what I'm going to use here for the tail, this is the kind of, if you buy a skin of partridge or anything like that, on the back of the skin, you get these lovely fluffy feathers. Okay, you've seen me do streamers with these before. Okay, now the center of this one is a little bit stiff, the center section, but it's these lovely kind of marabou style fibers on the side that I want to use. So what I do is I'll catch the middle and break that away. A little bit stiff. I want this soft. And I get it nice and thin. Just like so. Once I get it right down there, cut it away. The rest is pretty much waste. Bring down your thread and secure it in. Lovely soft little tail to that one. I just want to add the littlest bit of flash to that, so I take out a bit of microglint. This is golden olive microglint. And as you've seen me do before, we just, between the finger and thumb, strip it back to get those strands all nice and singular. And we just tie that in there on top. Secure everything well. Tidy it up. Keep that little tail away. Lovely little natural colour tail. Yeah, I know, Robbie, but then, do you know what, folks? Sometimes you'd wonder, would you want it? Would you want it? A few pound of it would be nice, alright. Get a nice fishing trip somewhere. Oh, so a bit of copper wire here. And then we're going to put in a bit of pheasant tail for the body. Up it on here till I get some longer pheasant tails. Secure them in by the natural tips. Again, this can be fished on slow, intermediate, midge tip, even a floating line just under the surface. It can be quite effective under a bone. Again, just when you want something different, and sometimes that's the key to catching fish in these places, you just try and do something different. Sometimes the fish get sick of seeing the same thing being pulled by them day on, day out. And sometimes you just need to do that one little thing different. Don't be afraid to go small. Don't be afraid to go natural. Bring up our copper wire rib over that body. As you can see, I stopped well short of the head or the bead. Okay, let's break that away. We'll take more pheasant tails for a thorax cover. Okay, and I want to create some legs coming back on this as well, okay? So what I normally tend to do is I take the length of the body of the pheasant tail. That's going to be the length of my legs. And then I pinch it with the other hand and I add on a couple of mil for the loop over. So they're not going to be too long. Oh, there's perfect. And secure them in well on top. Now, a little bit of hare's ear dubbing, a little bit of natural hare's ear dubbing on this one. And just create a little thorax there. Another small little bit onto that. So yes, you heard Jason saying Henry Gilby's going to be at the show. He's going to be very interesting. I do a little bit of bass fishing. Never had the pleasure to meet Henry Gilby. Great to see him coming back to shows and these shores. And also Stephen Jones. I'm not going to miss Stephen Jones. See-Through Guru. If anyone's read any of his book, it's fantastic. Stephen Jones is coming, so that's great. Great to see those kind of anglers. Now, when I'm putting the pressure on the Kevlar at the back of that bead, I tend to put a little bit. No, Martin, I didn't, and I actually got a decent delivery of airflow stuff in Friday evening, Martin. But unfortunately, the
dietary sweep didn't make it. They've told me it'll be in about 2 weeks' time. It's on the way. As soon as I get it, I have your your name wrote down on a list there. What I'll do now is just add another small little bit of hare's ear dubbing onto that thread, and I get a little divide on these two sets of legs to come back. I'm going to bring another one, actually. Try and get them fairly even either side. And bring those ones over as well. Couple of turns there with that dubbing just over the top. Get him into a nice position. And I like those legs long for the still water. So if I was doing this a river nymph, it wouldn't have as long as legs back on it. But you can see the way I've got those protruding out to the side, sticking back. They'll move in and out of the water as you strip them back through. Okay, a little bit of a whip finish in behind the bead. Give it a little tug. Locks in lovely and tight. Yeah, he is. Yeah, so I believe. Be great to have him down at the show. Going to be doing demonstrations and stuff. There's lots more celebrities going to be names released over the coming months till we get up to show. So there we have it. Very little pheasant tail, little natural pheasant tail streamer. Super effective, not just on Ned Maher's, but on an awful lot of venues that I fish. And can be really, really, good on those difficult days, which will probably be a difficult day for me most days, well, especially tomorrow at the A-wall. So that little streamer, there's 5 or 6 of them sitting in my box now, and they'll get fish tomorrow. Lovely little soft tail and a little bit of sparkle, very natural, say, and can really pull you a fish if you're struggling for something. So there we have it, folks. There's 4 patterns for you. I hope you've enjoyed tonight's show. I hope you've enjoyed tying the flies and fishing them and get some success in them. Thanks very much to Ned and everybody down at Adaire Springs for letting us go down there and have a bit of a chat with him. Absolutely, Kevin, it might tomorrow. Please God, if I get one of them brownies tomorrow, I'll be happy. That'll make me day. But don't forget, the show is going to be on the 30th of April to the 1st of May. We're going to be there doing lots of talks and demonstrations. So too is an awful lot of Irish fly tyers. I'm going to be on Fly Tyers Row with about 12 or 13 other guys. Top Irish fly tyers are going to be down there tying all sorts of stuff. Pike flies, trout flies, salmon flies, sea trout flies, the whole lot. So hopefully everyone will get down. Be great to meet up with a load of people, and it's great just to have something to look forward to again. So I hope you enjoyed tonight's show, folks. Don't forget, if you're looking for any gear, flies, or fly time materials, check out www.scaryfly.com. We're here live every Saturday night. We'll be back next Saturday night with a brand new show. Don't forget, the draw for tonight's flies will be done in a day or two, Tuesday or Wednesday. I normally do it. Once our YouTubers get a chance to watch the show and comment and stuff like that, and we'll give away all tonight's flies as we always do. Well done, Jim Myler, on winning tonight's prize. Thanks, Dave Donovan, for asking his trivia, and the best luck to everyone, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. Best luck to all the A-wallers tomorrow. I hope we all have a great day, which I'm sure we will. Great to meet up and have a bit of crack, and good night to everybody, and stay safe, of course. Thanks for watching, and see you all real soon.